Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're going to tackle a challenge that trips up even the most brilliant tech minds.
Oh, yeah.
Getting your amazing product out of the niche and into the hands of everyday users.
Right.
It's all about crossing the chasm.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about some dramatic adventure movie here.
Hmm.
We're diving into the legendary marketing book by Geoffrey A. A Guide to Conquering the Mainstream Market,
That's right.
Crossing the Chasm.
It's a classic. It's fascinating how often companies get stuck in the early adopter phase,
Right.
thinking, oh, success is a guarantee, just because the tech enthusiasts love their product.
Yeah.
This book provides a framework for understanding why that happens, and most importantly, gives you actionable strategies to avoid that fate.
That's what we want.
Okay.
So let's map out this treacherous terrain, this chasm, this gap between early adopters and the mainstream market exists.
Yeah.
Because these groups have totally different mindsets.
That's right.
It's like speaking different languages.
It is. It is. Early adopters, those tech-savvy visionaries, are excited by the what-if possibilities. They're buying into the potential of a disruptive technology to change the game.
Right.
But the early majority, the pragmatists,
Yeah.
who make up the mainstream, they need convincing.
Oh.
They're asking, show me how this solves my problems today.
Right.
Where's the proof?
It's all about practical solutions.
Totally.
So it's not enough to just have a cool product. You need a strategy to win over those who need to see tangible results. The book uses a powerful analogy. D-Day,
Oh, yeah.
Moore argues.
Yeah.
That crossing the chasm is like a military invasion. You need focus, strategy, and the right resources deployed in a very specific way.
That's right. The point is you can't just scatter your resources and hope for the best.
Right.
You need to pick a specific battle, a beachhead market. It's about choosing a niche with a burning problem that your solution uniquely solves.
Oh, wait. And concentrating all your forces on winning. That segment first.
So you're not trying to conquer the entire world at once.
Right. You're picking your battles strategically.
I don't care.
You're saying, okay, we're going to dominate this niche, and then we'll use that momentum
Yeah.
to expand.
Absolutely. And choosing that beachhead wisely is crucial.
Right.
It has to be a market segment that's big enough to matter, but small enough to dominate. Think of it like this. You want a niche where you can become the undisputed leader, the go-to solution for a very specific pain point.
Okay, that makes sense. So you find that beachhead, establish your dominance, then you use that credibility to scale.
Right.
But even with the perfect beachhead, it's not just about the tech itself, right? The book talks about this whole product concept, which sounds kind of like the customer experience, but maybe even more.
Yeah, I think it is. It's thinking beyond the features and specs and encompassing everything. That contributes to the customer success with your product.
Right.
It includes the service, the support, the integration, and yes, even the partnerships that help deliver a complete solution.
So it's not just, here's the software, good luck.
Right.
It's about considering all the things. That might trip someone up along the way.
Right.
And building a safety net around your product.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. It's about understanding that your customer needs more than just the core technology to achieve their desired outcome. They might need training, consulting, or even integrations with other systems they're already using.
So I'm trying to cross the chasm myself. What are some practical steps I can take to develop this whole product experience?
Well, first, and this is crucial, really dig deep into understanding your target customer's needs and challenges.
Okay.
Don't just assume you know what they want. Talk to them, observe them, figure out what's keeping them up at night.
It's like being a detective.
Right, yeah.
But instead of solving crimes, you're solving customer pain points.
Exactly. Once you understand those pain points, you can start thinking about all the pieces that need to be in place to create a truly successful experience for your customers. That might involve building partnerships, creating educational resources, or developing a top-notch support system.
So it's a combination of anticipating potential roadblocks
Yeah.
and providing the resources to overcome them.
Precisely. And remember, building the whole product isn't about ticking boxes. It's about creating a seamless and positive experience for the customer.
Right.
It's about making them feel supported every step of the way.
Expert speaker. Okay, so we've got our whole product strategy coming together. We're ready to storm that beachhead. But hold on. There might already be other players on the field, right?
Absolutely.
How do we stand out in a crowded market? and convince those pragmatists that we're the best choice.
That's where the art of positioning comes in.
Okay.
It's about crafting a message that resonates with your target audience and clearly differentiates you from the competition. Think of it as defining the battle for the hearts and minds of your customers.
Because even if you have the best solution in the world, it won't matter if customers don't understand why they should care.
Exactly. Too many tech companies get lost in the weeds of their technology, talking about features and specs instead of benefits and value.
They're so focused on what their product is that they forget to explain what it does for the customer.
Right. So how do we avoid that trap? How do we craft a positioning statement that actually makes those pragmatists sit up and take notice?
Okay. The book introduces a framework called the positioning compass.
Okay.
It's like a navigation tool for finding your unique place in the market.
Okay.
It lays out 4 key strategies you can use to position your product.
Okay, let's unpack these strategies. Give me the first direction on this compass.
The first strategy is to position yourself against the market alternative.
Okay.
This is about targeting the incumbent, the existing way things are done, and highlighting its limitations. You're basically saying, here's the old clunky way, and here's why our way is better.
So it's a bit like David versus Goliath, where you're the nimble, disruptive innovator, challenging the established giant.
Exactly. Think of Salesforce.com when they launched their cloud-based CRM platform.
They were going up against giants like Siebel Systems, who were selling traditional on-premise software. Salesforce's message was all about the benefits of the cloud, lower costs, easier implementation, greater flexibility. They positioned themselves as the modern alternative to the old guard.
They were saying, let's ditch the server room and move to the cloud.
Right, exactly.
But what if you're not directly challenging an existing solution? What if you're offering something completely new?
That's where the second strategy comes in.
Okay.
Positioning yourself as the product alternative.
Okay.
Instead of attacking the incumbent, you're showcasing your technology as the natural evolution of what's already out there. It's about offering something better, faster, or more efficient, a next-generation solution.
So you're not necessarily saying the old way is bad.
Right.
You're just saying there's a
better, more advanced way now.
Precisely. The book uses VMware as an example.
Their virtualization software lets you run multiple operating systems on a single server. Initially, they focused on tech-savvy users who needed this for specific tasks like software testing. They weren't trying to replace physical servers entirely. They were offering a more efficient way to utilize what you already had.
They were saying, get more bang for your buck with your existing hardware.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got head-to-head competition and evolutionary advancement. What are the other 2 points on this positioning compass?
All right, the third point is about specializing. Positioning yourself as a niche player. This is all about focusing on a specific market segment with unique needs that you can fulfill better than anyone else. You're not trying to be everything to everyone. You're aiming to become the undisputed expert in a particular area.
This reminds me of Documentum, targeting pharmaceutical regulatory affairs.
Yes.
They solved a very specific and painful problem for a very specific audience. And that laser focus allowed them to gain dominance in that niche.
That's a perfect example. By focusing on that niche, Documentum built deep expertise and a reputation for understanding that industry's unique challenges. They became the trusted advisor, the go-to solution for that particular pain point.
It's about being the big fish. In a small pond, at least initially, and then on reveal, you can use that credibility to expand into other ponds.
Exactly.
Okay, so what's the final direction on the compass?
The final strategy is the most ambitious. Positioning yourself as a platform play. This is about establishing your technology as the foundation for an entire ecosystem of products and services. Think of it like building the infrastructure that others can build upon.
So it's kind of like Microsoft or Windows. Or Google with Android.
Exactly.
They created platforms that spawned countless apps and services. It's powerful because if you become the foundation, you essentially have control of the whole ecosystem.
Exactly. The key to a platform play is fostering collaboration. You encourage other companies and developers to build upon your foundation, expanding the possibilities and reach of your technology. The book mentions Mozilla and Firefox. They were built on open source principles. inviting developers to
Yeah.
create extensions and add-ons that enrich the browsing experience.
So instead of trying to do everything yourself, you're creating a framework for others to innovate and build upon.
Exactly.
That's a pretty audacious approach, especially for a startup.
It is a bolder move, but it can be incredibly powerful if you can pull it off. It's about creating a community around your technology.
And leveraging
Yeah.
the collective creativity
Of that community.
to drive growth and innovation.
Okay, so we've got our 4 positioning strategies.
Mhm.
Against the market,
Mhm.
as a product alternative, as a niche player, and as a platform play. That's a really helpful framework. But how do we actually choose which direction to take?
That's where a deep understanding of your target customer, your product, and your competitive landscape comes into play.
You need to carefully analyze your strengths and weaknesses, the needs of your customers, and the positioning of your competitors. Then, you can choose the strategy that best aligns with your goals and resources.
So it's not just about picking the strategy. That sounds the coolest.
Right.
It's about choosing the one that gives you the best chance of success based on your specific circumstances.
And positioning isn't a one-time decision. It's an ongoing process.
Right.
You need to constantly be refining your message and adapting to the ever-changing market dynamics.
It's like you're navigating a ship.
Right.
Always adjusting your course based on the winds and currents.
Right.
So let's say we've chosen our positioning strategy. How do we actually communicate that message to the market? What makes a positioning statement truly effective?
The key is clarity and conciseness.
Okay.
Your positioning statement should be easy to understand, remember, and repeat. It should capture the essence of your value proposition in a way that resonates with your target audience.
It's got to be a bit like an elevator pitch.
Yeah.
Short, sweet, and memorable.
Exactly. And it needs to be believable. No over-the-top claims that you can't back up. Credibility is crucial, especially when you're trying to win over. Pragmatists, they're not going to be swayed by hype or empty promises.
I want to see the substance behind the sizzle.
Exactly.
So what does a good positioning statement actually look like in practice?
Okay. The book recommends simple 2-sentence format.
Good.
The first sentence defines your target customer and their compelling reason to buy. The second sentence describes your product and its key differentiator. Let's look at a couple examples.
Okay. I love concrete examples. Bring them on.
For instance, Veronata, a company that offers a genetic test for fetal abnormalities, might position themselves like this. For older pregnant mothers and others who want an alternative to amniocentesis, to screen for Down syndrome, Veronata provides a genetic analysis of fetal DNA. That does not involve inserting a needle into the womb. Unlike other genetic tests for fetal abnormalities, the Veronata test is the most accurate on the market.
Okay, I see what they did there. They clearly identified their target customer, the problem they're solving, their solution, and what makes them unique. It's concise and informative.
Really, it gets straight to the point and highlights the key benefits for their target audience.
Okay.
Here's another example. From SAP, a software company, for their ANA platform, for online retailers and others who want to better assist their customer agents to upsell and cross-sell consumers. During their purchasing transactions, ANA enables real-time analytics to be applied to transactions as they are unfolding, redirecting them to optimized outcomes that could not otherwise be achieved.
So they're emphasizing the value of real-time analytics for a specific use case, helping online retailers boost their sales.
Right.
They're not just talking about the technology itself, they're showing how it directly impacts the bottom line.
Precisely. And notice how both examples focus on, so what? They don't just describe the technology. They explain how it solves a problem or creates value for the customer.
They're answering the question, why should I care? In a clear and compelling way.
Exactly.
That's the power of a well-crafted positioning statement. It's about telling a story that resonates with your target audience and makes your product the obvious choice.
And that storytelling aspect is crucial. You're not just presenting facts and figures. You're creating a narrative that connects with your customers on an emotional level.
Okay, so we've defined our battle with a strong positioning strategy and crafted a compelling message. What's next in our battle plan for crossing the chasm?
Now, we need to choose our weapons in the world of high-tech marketing. Those weapons are your distribution channels and your pricing strategy.
So distribution is about how you get your product into the hands of your customers. And pricing is about how much you charge for it.
Right.
Both seem pretty straightforward, but I bet there's more to it that meets the eye.
You're absolutely right. Both of these elements need to be carefully aligned with your target market and your overall positioning. They need to work together seamlessly to create a path for your customers to easily find, understand, and purchase your product.
Makes sense. Let's start with distribution. What are the main avenues available to high-tech companies? Like, how do we actually get our product in front of those eager pragmatists?
Okay, the book outlines 5 primary channels.
Okay.
Direct sales, 2-tier distribution, value-added resellers, system integrators, and online channels each has its pros and cons. And choosing the right one, or even a combination, is a key strategic decision.
Okay, let's break those down. Let's start with direct sales. That sounds pretty self-explanatory, but what are the nuances there?
Direct sales is the classic approach.
Okay.
It involves building your own sales force that sells directly to customers. This gives you the most control over the sales process, but it can also be the most expensive and time-consuming to build. So it's a high investment, high reward kind of approach. I imagine it works best for companies selling complex, high-priced products that require a lot of personalized attention, right? Exactly. Think of enterprise software companies like Oracle or SAP. They have large, highly trained sales forces that are skilled at navigating the complexities of selling to large corporations. They're consultants as much as salespeople, guiding clients through the process of understanding and implementing these complex systems.
They're not just taking orders, they're building relationships and providing expertise.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. For the big players, what about 2-tier distribution? How does that differ?
2-tier distribution involves selling through a network of distributors who then sell to retailers or end customers. It allows you to reach a wider market without having to build your own sales force from scratch.
So you're leveraging the existing relationships and infrastructure of these distributors to expand your reach. It's a way to scale more quickly without the overhead of building a massive sales team.
Precisely. This model is common in the hardware industry. For example, Intel sells its microprocessors through distributors, who then sell to computer manufacturers. It allows Intel to focus on what they do best, designing and manufacturing chips.
Now leaving
the sales and logistics to their distribution partners.
It's all about playing to your strengths and finding partners who can fill the gaps.
Exactly.
Okay, what about value-added resellers? What's their role in this whole ecosystem?
Value-added resellers, or VARs, take your product and bundle it with other products and services to create a more complete solution for the customer. They're not just selling your product as is, they're customizing it, integrating it, and providing additional support or services to meet the specific needs of their clients.
They're adding value beyond the core product itself.
Yes.
It's like they're taking your base ingredients and creating a custom recipe for each customer.
That's a great analogy. VARs are often experts in a particular industry or technology area, so they can bridge the gap between your product and the specific needs of the customer. The book emphasizes their importance for reaching small businesses.
Right, because small businesses often lack the internal expertise to set up and run complex systems. They need that extra hand-holding and guidance that VARs can provide.
Exactly. They might need help with installation, configuration, training, or ongoing support. VARs become trusted advisors, helping small businesses get the most out of the technology solutions they're invested in.
It's like having a tech-savvy friend who can help you navigate the complexities of the digital world.
Exactly.
Okay, what about system integrators? How do they fit into this picture?
System integrators specialize in, well, integration. They come in when you're dealing with large-scale enterprise software implementations where you have multiple systems that need to work together seamlessly to make sure everything plays nicely together. Handling the technical complexities of integrating your product into the customer's existing IT infrastructure.
They're the ones who make sure the data flows smoothly between different systems, preventing those dreaded compatibility nightmares.
Exactly. Their role is crucial for large organizations. With complex IT ecosystems, they ensure smooth transition and prevent costly disruptions to the business.
Okay, so we've covered the more traditional channels. Now let's talk about online channels. Those have exploded in recent years, right?
Absolutely. Online channels have become a primary way to reach tech-savvy customers who are comfortable researching and purchasing products online. Think of software companies like Adobe or Microsoft. That now offer.
So we've mapped out our strategy, honed our message, and even figured out how to get our product into the hands of those all-important pragmatists.
Right.
But what about the team behind it all? How do we build an organization that can actually execute this plan and thrive in the mainstream market?
That's where things get really interesting. Crossing the chasm often requires a shift in mindset.
Yeah, not just for market slavers, individual employees, but for the entire company culture. What worked in the early adopter phase, that startup scrappiness and agility might need to evolve as you scale.
Because as you grow, you need more structure, more processes, and more people to manage those increasingly complex operations.
That's going
from a nimble speedboat to a powerful cargo ship.
Exactly. And that can be a difficult transition. For some people, early market success often relies on a small team of passionate individuals, those cowboys who thrive on autonomy and can make quick decisions on the fly.
Right.
But as you move into the mainstream, you need a different breed.
You need more pilots and navigators who can steer this larger ship and chart a course through more complex waters.
Precisely. And that might mean saying goodbye to some of those early trailblazers who were instrumental in getting you to this point.
It's not personal. It's about recognizing that the skills and mindset that make someone a great pioneer aren't always the same ones that make them a great leader in a larger, more structured organization.
It's about finding the right people for the right roles at the right time, and that can involve some tough decisions. But if the company wants to grow and scale, these changes are often necessary.
Absolutely. One of the key shifts involves how authority is distributed in the early stages. Decision-making is often centralized in a few key individuals, those visionary leaders who have a deep understanding of the technology and the early market.
They're the ones with the experience and the intuition to guide the company
through those uncharted waters.
But as you move into the mainstream, you need to empower others. You need to delegate authority and trust your team to make decisions in their respective areas. You need to create a culture of ownership and accountability.
Because those folks on the front lines, your sales managers, your marketing specialists, your product experts,
they're the ones who are closest to the customer, who understand the nuances of the market, and who can respond quickly to changing needs.
Exactly. They're the ones who will be building those crucial relationships with the pragmatists, understanding their specific challenges and tailoring solutions to their unique requirements.
It's about moving from a command and control leadership style to a more collaborative and empowered approach.
And that can be a challenge for those who are used to being in the driver's seat, but it's essential for fostering growth and scalability. It's about building a team that can operate effectively, even when the leaders aren't always directly involved in every decision.
So it's not just about structure and authority, it's also about motivation. How do we incentivize our team to support these new goals and this new way of working?
Compensation models often need to evolve as well in the early market. Compensation is often heavily weighted. Individual performance. You're rewarding those top salespeople who are bringing in the big deals. It's a very eat what you kill mentality.
But as you cross the chasm, the focus needs to shift from individual achievements to team success.
Exactly. You need to reward collaboration, knowledge sharing, and the ability to build and manage larger, more complex accounts. It's about recognizing that success in the mainstream market is a team effort.
So it's less about landing that one big whale and more about building a sustainable ecosystem of customers who will grow with you over the long term.
That's the idea, and that might require changing your commission structures, introducing team bonuses, or even offering equity-based compensation to align everyone's interests with the long-term success of the company.
It's about creating a shared sense of ownership and rewarding people for contributing to the collective good.
And this shift in culture
can be
just as important as the structural changes. You're moving from a culture of individual heroism to a culture of collaborative success,
where everyone understands that they play a role, the bigger picture.
Exactly. And that cultural shift can be just as challenging as the organizational changes, if not more so. It requires clear communication, strong leadership, and a willingness to embrace change at all levels. of the organization.
So crossing the chasm
Yeah.
isn't just about tweaking your product or your marketing message.
Right.
It's about transforming your entire organization from the inside out.
It's a holistic transformation that involves strategy, structure, people, and culture. It's about creating an organization that's aligned, empowered, and adaptable to the unique demands of the mainstream market.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground today. From understanding the chasm, to building the whole product, defining the battle, choosing our weapons, and even transforming our organization.
It's been a deep dive into the complexities of high-tech marketing and the challenges of bringing disruptive innovation to the world.
So as we wrap up, let's distill this wisdom into a set of actionable takeaways that our listeners can use to navigate their own journeys across the chasm.
Excellent idea. Let's condense the essence of crossing the chasm into 10 key points.
Okay, number one, understand the chasm, that gap between early adopters and the mainstream market. And recognize that these groups have different motivations and buying criteria.
Number 2, target a specific beachhead market, a niche where you can dominate, and build a referenceable customer base.
Number 3, approach crossing the chasm with a D-Day mindset, requiring careful planning, focused resources, and flawless execution.
Number 4, build the whole product. It's not just the technology, it's the entire customer experience, including service, support, and integration.
Number 5, leverage partnerships. Identify key players in your target market and build win-win relationships to deliver a complete solution.
Number 6, master the art of positioning. Use the positioning compass to choose the right strategy and craft a compelling message that differentiates you.
Number 7, choose the right distribution channels. Consider the complexity of your product, the buying habits of your audience, and the economics of each channel.
Number 8, price strategically. Align your pricing with your target market,
distribution strategy, and the perceived value of your product.
Number 9, transform your organization. Make the necessary structural, cultural drivers, and compensation changes to support the needs of the mainstream market. And number 10, never stop adapting. Stay close to your customers, anticipate market shifts, and evolve your offerings to maintain your competitive edge.
Wow, what a powerful 10-point blueprint for success. It's a reminder that crossing the chasm is a journey, not a destination.
That's right.
It's about continuous learning, adaptation, and a relentless focus on delivering value to your customers.
It's about understanding
That's the thing.
that even the most brilliant technology can fail without a deep understanding for the market dynamics.
And the human element.
The business.
So as you embark on your own ventures, ask yourself, what's your beachhead? What's your whole product? And how will you build a team and a culture that can conquer the chasm and bring your vision to the world?
Remember, the principles we've discussed today can be your guide, your compass, and your inspiration as you navigate the exciting and challenging world
of high-tech marketing. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into crossing the chasm. Until next time, keep learning, keep innovating, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.